seated guard, we have to have a good stance here, right? This is one of the most neglected aspects of most passing positions is the stance in that position, right? Specifically seated guard, right? A lot of people struggle with this, right? People are coming in, right? And if you're not careful, you get your legs entered into. So either they're careless and they do get their legs entered into, or they don't know how to prevent getting their legs entered into while engaging, so they just don't engage, right? So the better you are here, the more comfortable you are in your stance, the more you can engage and not have to be cagey, right? So, first, we're going to be relatively head-to-head with our partner in terms of head level, right? And as we get closer to him, right, we do actually try to get head-to-head. Right, so now if he reaches for my feet, right, just like if we're in a standing position, right, it's a lot easier to defend when I can block with my head, right? Now, all right, our hands are also involved here. We can hand fight to protect our legs from his grips. So as he goes to grip, right, again, I'm head-to-head, and I can look to prevent his grip. If he does grip me, right, again, I try to strip it. Now again, if he does get into something like shin to shin, not the end of the world, we need to know how to pass shin to shin, right? But ideally, right, we're preventing any good grips and connection on him while we get our good grips and connection, right? So we're head-to-head, our partner's gonna try to grab our legs, right? Yeah, we come in, we can play with thumb posts in the elbows, right? I can play tying up the hands, right? If he grabs my hands first, we're just engaging in the same sort of grip fighting that we always would. If he grabs with the same side wrist, right? We grab his wrist, we strip, right? And now we can come in. Our goal for this next type of pass, the body lock passing, is to create space between his elbows and his hips, right? So if I can push his head to the mat here, in order for him not to just fall over, he has to post. This is the sort of space that we're looking for us to come in and get through our tight waist, our body locks, etc. Right? So, in good stance, the knees staggered, right? And now, again, we're using our hands and our head to defend, right? And again, bottom press is going to give a little bit of light resistance, maybe like, just slow speed, but giving you grips that you can have to think about how to deal with. All right, so he's going to look to get some sort of grip. Yep, well, hand grip, making it post, right? Then we come in. I can come in head to head, use just thumb post, right? Force that hand to the mat, right? Big thing is I don't care if he has one grip on me and I have a free hand. Now this is not too bad because I can use that free hand to make him take his hand off me and post. Because if he doesn't take his hand off me, now he's no longer playing a seated guard, right? Which isn't the end of the world if he is fine with playing a supine guard. But a lot of people that are playing a seated guard want to stay seated, right? So we come in head to head, right? I'm looking to get just one free hand, right? One disentangled hand where now I can force him to post. Okay, so we're gonna work this. Now whenever we do force him to post, hey, gets a grip. Right? Whenever we do force him to post, right? Now we change our level to get our head underneath his shoulder, right? And now we come in and look to lock our hands, right? When I enter the body lock, I want to split his legs with my knee, right? Now, this isn't mandatory, but it saves you a step, right? Because if I don't do that, right? If I just drop my level and I just come right in here, he has two butterfly hooks in. He wants two butterfly hooks in, right? And now from here, right, this is good for him, right? He has inside position with both feet. If I could take away inside position with one of those feet right off the get-go, that'd be great, right? Because from here, now I'm gonna have to do an extra step, right? Sprawling past one of the hooks, right? And now I can go in and look to clear the knee, right? Which again, you should know how to sprawl out of the hooks, one of the hooks. But again, try to save yourself a step, and then again, you're deeper into it, you'll find you pass more often. So I come in, head to head, thumb post, forcing that post hand, right? Now I drop, again, if I can get the arm in, that's fine too, right? If the arm's in, and I can keep his elbow glued to his body, right? That would be fine, right? Otherwise, if I feel like his elbow's too far away from his body, I do not want to try to lock with the arm in, right? Try to keep your arm in, right? Because now when I go, because his elbow's away from his body, he can easily shrug, and now he's into a good underhook here, right? So now again, if his elbow is low and I can trap it, great. If it's high, then just go ahead and lock. Without an arm in, right? And I'm trying to again get my knee in between his legs as I enter here. Right now, I just have to worry about passing this knee to put him in half guard. Because once you put him in chest to chest half guard with the body lock, right, this is one of the strongest positions to finish, right? So from here, my head is relatively centered on his chest, right? I don't want my head to the mat because the closer my head is to the mat, right, especially if he has 2 butterfly hooks in, which in this case he doesn't, but in general, when my head's closer to the mat, it's easier for him to push my head to the mat and now go into sumigeshis and off balances and various options, right? So in general, we want to keep our head off to the center, right? Even if he doesn't have that butterfly hook in, if my head's lower, you can start threatening guillotines, right? And being annoying from here. So we don't want to have to deal with that. So try to keep your head in the center or up towards the shoulder, right? So thumb post, forcing the post. Now we come in, we lock, and we're past one butterfly hook. Right, from here, our goal is to flatten him out, right? So we drive, we flatten him out, right? Notice how my left knee is on his tailbone, right? So however I got here, if I took a second to settle in, before I pass this knee, I wanna get my left knee at least to his tailbone, right? Now I can pass with unlocked or locked hands here, doesn't matter, right? My goal is to pass this knee, however I do it. Right? If I have unlocked hands, now I have the benefit of having a free hand to false grip and use my elbow inside to walk his knee down and cover into a chest-to-chest half guard, right? If my hands are locked, it's a little bit harder to do that, right? He's gonna keep his knee tight, it's hard to get the elbow inside. Now I could unlock, take the elbow inside, and then relock, and now I can use that to get to stuff his knee, right? Or oftentimes I'll test and see if I can just do it without doing that, right? So he's trying to keep his knee tight, right? Notice how the further my head slides up, the further I can step with his right foot. If my head's really low, then my foot can only go so far relative to where my head is at, right? As my head moves up, now I have more room to step up again, right? So, right, I'm putting pressure into his shoulder or his head. Again, you can be really mean here, especially if the stakes are high. Right, the higher my head is, the better, right? And now I walk him flat to get his knee close to the mat. The more his knee's pointed up, the harder it is to step over, right? So I walk him to get his knee close to the mat, and now we start stepping this right foot up, and our goal is to cover his knee with our hamstring. Once that happens, we circle him flat, and we switch our head to the other side, right? Generally, I prefer to have a near side tie waist. So in this case, you'll see that I have that far tight waist, right? My hands are locked on this near side, right? I would prefer, it's not mandatory, but I generally prefer to kind of pull him onto his side and then shoot the near arm through. And now I can go in to my standard half guard pass. From here, like classic half guard pass where we tripod up, right? And now from here, we insert butterfly hook, shake, 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 shake. And we can look to pass into mount, right? One more time, we'll do it on Caesar. Right. Good stance again. Every rep, make sure you're working the stance, right? This is like super fundamental, okay? Advanced fundamentals, but it should be just fundamental fundamentals, right? We'll come in, right, like so, force that hand to the mat. Again, trying to get my knee in between him, in between his knees or legs as I enter, right? Again, driving up with my head, right? And now I want to walk him flat, right? Again, the higher his knee, the harder it is to step up. So I walk him flat here. Now I can start stepping over, and now we're going into half guard. Again, my preference is to pull him onto his side, shoot my near arm through, and lock, like so. Now from here, head goes to the mat. Really keep in mind, again, don't be up here. Really keep your head on the mat here. Make sure you can't slip his knee out. Slips his knee, right, not a great spot, right? So make sure you pinch the knees here. Disconnect your hips so he can't bridge you over, right? If you come there, and now you pommel in, he bridges you. Because your hips are connected, you don't have base, he's gonna be able to bridge you, right? So from here, we come up, and now we disconnect the hips. Tries to bridge, you can't be effective with the bridge. Now we pommel in, and we pass to mount. All right, 4 seconds. You off this there. 1, 2. Now some other options that we have here, right? Now, let's say that we're having a really hard time getting over this knee, right? Another option we have is now I can take my left knee to his tailbone, right? So now I'm gonna walk back the other way, right? And notice how when my left knee comes to his tailbone, watch his knee here. See how it starts to move down and away, right? So again, this was our first position. Right, he's not working. Right, we come through. Now we take our left knee to his tailbone. Right, I try to keep his heel pinned to his butt here. Now from here, right, I'm going to come into this position. Right.
Okay. Now from here, right, I'm going to come into this position. Right.
This is a detail that makes this work a lot better than how most people show it. Right. I'm not just extending and trying to get it. Right. I'm keeping my left knee to his tailbone, and now watch how I really blade, and I bring my right knee to my left foot. See that? Now when he goes to get his other butterfly hook in, it's a lot harder, right? Whereas if I was just extending here, there's often space for him to get that hook in. And that's not what we want. So, right? So again, I keep his heel tight to his butt with my left knee, and now in one motion, I take that right knee to my left foot. Right? Now, as I lean, it's a lot easier to get that leg shoved. You want to see that? Now from here, now it's a lot easier to stuff that leg, right? And we don't have to worry about half guard in this case. We're able to go right into side control. So from here, right, now it's a lot easier to step over his knee, the same way that we did before. Head switches over, right? And now my left knee drops to the mat as my right hip comes upwards, like so. Right? Now that allows me to slide my right hip under his legs and start to walk him flat. What we don't want is we don't want to get to side control here. And now our partner keeps really strong frames. Right? He's keeping like as much tension as he can, trying to get his knee in. He's ready the moment we unlock the legs. Right? Oftentimes you're just gonna get escaped there. Right? So once we pass into side control, I want to make sure that I get his knees pointed away from me before I unlock my hands. Right? So we walk the knees away. Now I can unlock my hands and take an elbow wedge on top of his thigh. Right? Now he goes to point the legs towards me and escape. It's a lot harder. Right? You're able to stabilize this and not just get escaped right away. Right? Now I can look to progress and do all my grip fighting climbers, etc. Right? Don't be in too much of a rush to climb the body. Right? Secure the hips first, and then make that climb. All right, so I'll do Caesar. All right, good thumb post, good head position, pushing that head to the mat, dropping in like so. All right, yeah, for this one, I use my left knee to his tailbone. Right, I angle everything out this way, getting my right knee to my left foot. Now it's a lot easier to shove that leg. All right, from here. And you start to walk over that knee like we did earlier. Head switches again. And now we just switch the hips here. Boom, boom. And again, make sure to walk his legs away. Now, that elbow can come on top of his thigh to make it hard for him to turn, right? Like just look at the concept there. If he tries to turn that way, see, he cannot point his knee when there's a wedge on top of this leg, So that's why this elbow wedge prevents him from turning into me very effectively. Without it, again, because I walked his knees away at least, it's not gonna be as bad as it would have been. But again, that elbow wedge helps secure it even more, right? So again, we want as much wedging to be as tight and unescapable as possible, right? 1, 2.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, comments, thoughts, please leave them in the comments. It really helps the algorithm so that we can continue to grow the channel. If there are any techniques you want to see, again, let us know in the comments. Subscribe, like, and thanks for watching.